This is European stock trend prediction. So the topics is about how to find the best time to buy or to sell stocks. So that involves with a type of a screening process using the European stock trend prediction model. So this kind of models or software is developed based on the advanced machine learning algorithm and the signal processing technique. So basically, we can use this kind of tools, the trend lines predicted by the European stock trend prediction model. So we can use this kind of trend lines to predict the maximum value or the minimum value of the stock price fluctuation. So for example, this is a daily chart, this is a weekly chart, this is a monthly chart. So I can select any time frame. For example, I may select a 60 minutes chart. I can still use the trend lines to predict the maximum value and the minimum value very well. So for this kind of a daily chart, for example, each vertical line represents the real-time data stock price in one day. So this is the current day, today is Tuesday, Tuesday in 1 week. That's August 17th. So that's yesterday's real-time data. That's the day before yesterday. So similarly for this weekly chart. So each vertical line is 1 week's real-time data. So because today is Tuesday, so this week is not completed yet. So but the trend line are already printed out and generated. So you see this kind of a minimum value of the stock price. This minimum value touches the trend line. This kind of a support trend line touches it very well. So, and for this kind of changes, so the stock may, when it decrease or increase, it may have more momentum. It may may drop below the type of this kind of a trend line. And there's another layer of trend lines. So if it goes to this region, definitely it's a kind of a low price region. So either way, if you find a time to buy stocks around this region, that's also good timing to buy the stock compared to the high price region around this region. So you can still make more effort, more profit. So for example, for this price is 126.82. So this price is 132.32. So it's about $6 difference. If you compare this one, that's 124.87. And this one is 132.06. So it's about $8 difference. So $8 difference. I think for this line, this dot is 123.99. So basically it's $124. And this point is 132.61. 132.61. So this is 124. So basically that's still have another $8 difference. So $8 difference in 1 week. So if you buy 100 shares, that's $800. If you buy 200 shares, that's $1,600. So we can select any kind of stock and select any time frame. For example, this is SP 100. So let's select another one, AXP. So that's a AXP monthly chart, weekly chart, and daily chart. So for this kind of a stock price, based on the closing price, the changes of the current the today's real-time data. So it's a kind of approaching the low price region predicted by the resistance trend line. So it's approaching it's close to the kind of a low price region. And if for this kind of a day chart, for this daily chart, and you see this is already dropped between these two trend lines, support trend lines, so it's relatively in the low price region. So generally it's a kind of a relatively good time to buy this stock. But because we have this type of tools, we can very well predict the minimum value and the maximum value, so we can use this kind of a tool to get more precise monitoring or control. So that means if I check this stock, I probably will wait a little bit more time, but definitely pay more attention to this, because it's already relatively close to the low price region. But you can still kind of monitor it more closely and let it try to reach to a desirable minimum value, and then I will consider that. So definitely it's a kind of candidate for this BA Boeing. And the Boeing, it's kind of clothing is getting to a relatively low price region, but based on this trend, it's still not completed yet. This kind of dropping or reduction of the stock price it's not totally completed yet, based on this kind of a long-term or long-term or short-term charts. But for this kind of a daily charts, it's relatively kind of reaches to the low price region. Depends on which strategy you are using. If you are do day trade, or you do some kind of a long-term trade, or invest it for long term, so you may consider it differently. So basically you can pay more attention to this. For example, for this BAC price, and the BAC price relatively, for today's data, it once reaches to the lower kind of lower minimum value for the daily chart, but then it increase again. So if you do day trade, maybe you can still make use of this kind of a change or fluctuation in one day. But for long term, definitely I will not consider this as a long term, because right now it's not reaching the minimum value for the from the long term. And for BIIB, so for BIIB, and you see this kind of a closing price, it's already reaches the maximum value, so it's so close, almost touches the maximum value. So definitely for this kind of stock at this time, definitely I will not buy it at this time, because it's like in the maximum region, maximum price. So definitely if you buy it at this time, it will start to decrease, the price will start to decrease, and then you will lose your money. So if you already have this kind of a stock, then definitely try to consider to sell it at this time. If you are interested in this kind of stock market analysis, so just you can maybe watch more videos using the keyword something like about European stock trend analysis or stock market analysis in YouTube, or directly subscribe European stock trend prediction channel.